So I just woke up and I haven't taken a shower, but I wanted to tell you about this dream. So I'll progressively be waking up as this video goes on.
The Munchkym.
So I had a dream about John and Hank Green on Pluto. I had a dream. In this dream, John and Hank Green were on some trip because of Hank's work to Pluto. Pluto was a well-established planet and was in fact a planet, not a dwarf planet. Now in my dream I watched a video of Hank describing on a very large screen how to eat a peppermint patty in no gravity. It was very, very interesting, and he kept saying, the chocolate circle thing will and I was like, what? So I was on Pluto because my parents had won tickets. My mom was off doing something like she does, and my dad was eating like he does. What we were eating was these Thai noodles, I think, but they had broth like ramen. But they tasted like Thai. I should describe the layout a little. This is an extremely elaborate dream. The hotel we were in was a very fancy bar setting, and it had a glass bar. There were lots of tourists on Pluto. A bowl of Thai that came out was about this big, and my dad was like, the food here is really expensive, but this is the best stuff because it's only $5 for this giant bowl. And so I was like, all right, I'll try it. Now on the other side of the bar there wasn't a wall. It was just kind of like a quarter wall maybe. And behind that was this giant glass wall. On the wall there were people. They weren't like hanging there. They were on the other side of the glass wall. They were all standing on these platforms, and because there were so many tourists standing on the platforms looking out, it was in the shape of Maine. The people were in the shape of Maine. It was really, really cool architecture and stuff, but that's my dream, so that's weird. Sitting at this bar, and I noticed that someone was trying to drive in, so I went to go tell them where to park. For some reason, they weren't trying to park in the right spot, so I was like, no, you have to go over there. So I came back, and one of the crazy ladies from the business office at CMCC was serving my dad his food. Seriously, it's like a requirement to be crazy to work in the business office here. Or maybe working in the business office just makes you crazy. Anyway, so she was serving my dad some food, and she brought out forks for my dad and my brother, but she didn't bring me anything, and so I was like, hey, why don't I have chopsticks? Because I always eat with chopsticks, and I was expecting chopsticks to go with my Thai ramen stuff. So she was like, do you want chopsticks or do you want a fork? I'd like chopsticks, please. Are you sure you don't just want a fork? No, I'm sure that I want chopsticks. Do you really want chopsticks or do you want a fork and chopsticks? I'd just like chopsticks, thanks. So she went up to get my chopsticks very rudely, and while she was gone, this young lady who I don't know came to give my dad a menu for drink. The drinks were really fruity and delicious looking, so I was like, hey, could I have one of those? In my dream, I was old enough to drink. And she just kind of looked at me like I was insane, and I was like, no, please, I forgot to grab it when you went to give it to my dad. My dad doesn't even drink. Could I please have it? For the record, I don't drink either, but those drinks were really fruity looking. And she just kept staring at me like I was insane. And I was like, no, please, could I please just have one? And then I remembered that I look like I'm 14. And my dad was like, she's not gonna give you one. And for some reason on Pluto you don't have your IDs or something, so I just couldn't get any fruity drinks, but they looked so good. Now the business office lady came back and she gave my brother fruity drinks, but then looked at me and went, oh, I forgot your chopsticks. I was upset because I still wasn't eating. So she left. Never came back with my chopsticks, and that's the end of my dream. Now, I'm gonna go take a shower, and then I'm gonna try to convince the Red Cross people that I weigh enough to give blood. So, I will talk to you later. Bye! If you'd like to see a video of me and a bunch of my friends talking to Felicia Day on a Google Hangout, then you should click the link that's up there. I'm posting a lot of videos recently, so if you haven't been around, you should really catch up. Bye! Ooh, tipping the camera. Good job, kid. Update, I was not allowed to give blood because I have to be 19 or weigh 120 pounds. I'll be 19 in 3 weeks, so that's fun. Every year this happens. Every year for the past 3 years I've gone to give blood. They give me a sticker that says I make a difference, and then I take it off and never make a difference.
Look at that truck taunting me.